Hello, hello. It's telling me it's live. This is what I do every week. It tells me it's live there, but I just need to know. Okay, cool. We are live. Wonderful. Good morning. I'm on the cushion this morning. Thought I'd sit down for this conversation. It's a pretty deep conversation, and hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm just going to put this Facebook on. Because on this one I can't see who is coming up if anyone's on. Look at that, it says that I'm live. Okay. Alrighty. So, big topic today, love, more so unconditional love. You would have heard this term, some people would talk about unconditional positive regard. So this notion of unconditional is that, well, there's no conditions. So, in no conditions, that means that pretty much everything's available, everything's free to happen, and I'm not placing any conditions, any expectations. I'm actually more so probably in the moment a bit more. But it also goes deeper then, because now I'm talking about love. So, I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey today. First up, I want to share with you the mantra that I shared at the TED talk the other night. This is the mantra that I've been using for a good while now. I would have shared it with you depending on when you came into the coaching program. And I also put a slide of it up as well, or a picture of it. So, I wonder what life will place upon my path today that will bring me to a greater awareness of self and other selves. The words in this mantra are really significant because what they do is they connect you to life, they put you in a state of wonder, a state of intrigue, looking forward to, a state of engaging with life, with your day, and knowing that life is supporting you and is there for you and is placing things upon your path each and every day for your own unfoldment, your own growth, your own learning, your own, dare I say the word good, but for your own evolution. And it'll be placed upon your path via the path of least resistance, which then suggests that whoever and whatever is going to occur to you today is the easiest way that life can then deliver that to you. It's the way that life delivers it to you. And when I say that, it's more so how much, when we say least resistance, it's the less resistance that I have. So if you tune into this, I am your path of least resistance. If you don't tune into this, then that's okay. You'll continue to go throughout your day and other paths of least resistance will then be placed upon your path. So whether you listen to me or you go out into your day, you will then find something that is pertinent to you. Now, some of you may not look at this from a live perspective. You might look at it from a replay when you have time, and in that time, then that is the path of least resistance. Some of you may not actually look at this. Isn't that funny? I'm talking to the ones that won't actually see it, but then again, I'm talking to their inner self as well. So, when we talk about love and we talk about unconditional love, I want to sort of take you from the perspective of, well, what can I love? What do I love, and how do I place my conditions on it? And what is unconditional love, and do I actually love unconditionally? So, for some of us, we might have pets, and when we have pets, my daughter's dog, Oshi, I remember we went away to Bali probably around this time last year, and we came back and it was a pup, so we had someone house sitting, but it had chewed every corner of my nice teak coffee table. It had chewed the legs on most of the chairs that I had, and also had chewed the legs of our bed. So we've come back, and this is what Oshi has left for us. This is the gift that Oshi gave to us. And while I have those pieces of furniture in my house, it reminds me of Oshi. Thank you, Oshi. In those moments, I went, oh, bloody Oshi, that sort of thing. But did it stop the way that I felt about him? Could I still love him? Did I still show him love? Or did I go and bad dog and whack him and all that sort of stuff? But I couldn't really do that because it happened days ago. So, I'm not going to get him and go, here, look at this, and then I'll punish you and I want you to think about what you've done in the past. That past moment was gone. But what was there for me was, well, how do I interact with this? That sort of thing. So in those moments, I could love unconditionally. I still love Oshi. He's a beautiful dog, and I remember him as a pup, and now he's a grown dog, and still just has this beautiful heart. So I love hanging out with him. So you can easily find unconditional love for pets and animals. Can I find that for people? Can I find that with events that happen in my life? So if any of you have got kids, you can probably start to move to that space with your kids. Do I have unconditional love for my children? No matter what they do. See how it doesn't mean that I'll just go, yeah, that's okay. It doesn't mean that I don't create boundaries that are related to values. It doesn't mean that I am the one who, in a sense, guides and enforces consequences. I can still love, but can I love somebody? Can I love my child in whatever they do? If they're with me or if they're not with me. If they've done something I don't agree with. If they do something that I do agree with. Do I still hold that unconditionality with that? And then I can then start to move it to my partner, if I have a partner, if you have a partner. Can I love unconditionally for my partner? Or is there conditions placed upon my love? While we're in a relationship, these are the things that I expect you to do. And if you fall outside of those parameters, then I'm going to love you less. Or if you stay in those parameters, I'm going to love you more. See how the conditions are placed upon that. Or can I just look at the person and unconditionally love them for whatever they do, whether they choose to want to be with me or not want to be with me? Can I love that part of themselves? Can I love that part of myself to go, if it's not working out for us, then it's not working out for us. And if it is working out for us, then it is working out for us. Now let's take it away from our intimate relationships and then go to, you might have brothers and sisters, you might have family members. Is there conditions that we place upon our family members for us to love them? Is there conditions that we place upon our brothers and sisters of humanity that we say, yes, when you do this I love you, but when you don't that, I don't love you, I hate you actually, I need to push you away, I need to demonise you, I need to judge you, I need to get you as far away from me as possible, but can I love you? And this is where we then start to move into the understanding of what love is. Now, I'll share with you a couple of perspectives. One is from a Buddhist perspective, which I deeply resonate with. Doesn't mean that I am a Buddhist. I was actually brought up a Catholic, but I didn't really resonate with those things earlier on. However, I can now come back and see in essence what was being said. So one of the things that the Buddha says, detach with loving compassion to all sentient beings. So sentient beings is everything in the universe. Because I am connected to everything that's in the universe. But detaching with loving compassion is, in a sense, unconditional love. The way that the Buddhists look at it is that, that reincarnation is the situation, that you choose to incarnate into this world. There's particular lessons that you need to learn in relation to your spiritual evolution. And everyone has chosen the environment that they step into. It's quite well thought out. There's an agreement on a soul perspective. And so each person is having their own journey. Each sentient being is having their own experience. Can I honour that person for having their own experience? Well, yes, I can if I come from a space of detaching with loving compassion. I'm detaching with loving compassion. I'm seeing you through the eyes of love, of unconditional love, that this is your journey. Because every one of you has your own journey. Each one of you has had your own experiences that have either created some suffering or awakenings, and or both. And for all of you who have then worked with me and you come and sit with me, I then hold space for you while you re-experience some of the things that you've gone through, and I can sit with you and I can feel for you, but I don't get caught up in you. I can, though, notice what arises within me in relation to the time that I spend with you, because I'm detaching with love and compassion. I am there holding space for you, but I'm also holding space for myself. I can love you with whatever information that you tell me, and some of you have told me some really very deep, intimate parts and experiences of you, and I don't sit there in judgment, see, because if I sat in judgment, I would be placing conditions. So it puts me in this really beautiful space where I get to sit without judgment. I go, wow, that's amazing that is happening for you. That has happened for you. And then I start to look at you from a soul perspective. Now, this does help if I can see through the eyes of love from a soul perspective, because then I have a deeper compassion. I have a deeper unconditionality in relation to how I relate to you. Because I see you as the same as me, that I'm having my journey and this is your journey. And as much as I can honour my journey and go, wow, this is just an amazing journey, all of the highs and the lows, I can then start to see you with all of your highs and your lows too, but still honour that and go, but that is just, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of that within these moments. And there's a deep compassion that sits with that. There's a deep connection, there's a deep intimacy that sits with that. Can I do that with everybody? Well, that is my mission. Do I do it with everyone all of the time? No, I don't, because sometimes things come up and go, oh, I need to place conditions on that, but then I start to realise, oh, hang on. Once I start to place conditions on something, I then begin to suffer. And now I'm really good at noticing when I begin to suffer. And I go, whoa, how would love look at that? So here is, because I don't just want to talk about this and go, hey, this is what it is. I actually want to share with you what you can do. So one of the ways is that when I notice something, when I notice some discord within me, when I notice that I have created my own suffering, and remember we've spoken about this, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Whenever I throw those secondary darts, I'm caught up in the virtual reality. That's where I will suffer. Once I notice my suffering, I can then start to look at it and go, hang on, what's actually happening here? And remember, when I attach to the actual reality, I then say yes to life. I'm no longer resisting it. When I say yes to life, I can actually use, how can I see this situation through the eyes of love? Really, really powerful question, through the eyes of love. And it's not conditional love, it's unconditional love. How can I see this through the eyes of love? So there's a couple of things I want to share with you. my good mates, put that there, Timber, what's his name? Timber Hawkeye, Buddhist Boot Camp. I've actually done a video on this and I just want to share it with you. This is by John Lennon. It doesn't matter who you love, where you love, why you love, when you love or how you love. It only matters that you love. And I'd like to then say, hey, let's go to unconditional love. Let's look at the Course of Miracles. Course in Miracles. Beautiful channeled works. And look, this is in the preface. It hasn't even gotten into the introduction. This is probably one of the most powerful 3 lines that I've ever read. It says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And that's P-E-A-C-E, of God. So what this is actually saying is that God is love. Now, whether we want to look at, and I like to look at life, this book has a very Christian-based metaphors and language, and I can still sit with that, which is interesting. Maybe I'm seeing it through the eyes of love. It's talking about God, it's talking about life, it's talking about the universe, prana, chi, the unified field, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, something that is bigger than you. And what it's saying is that the truth of that is love. And that is what you spark from. That is what you are. Ultimately, you are a divine creature of love. You are a soul. A soul is love. Can I look at it from a soul perspective? Can I look at it from that unconditional loving perspective? And that's where that question is. How could I see this through the eyes of love? Or what would love say to this? And when we ask that, is that unconditional love? What would unconditional love say to this? How would it meet it? How can I meet things upon my path? I am going to share with you a quote by Rumi, and I'll put this one up as well. Love is true perception, the recognition that there is no separation between us at all. It is the remembrance of God and the vision of reality as it actually is. That's amazing. In order to hate, condemn or criticize, you have to believe in a reality that is separate and fragmented. A universe at war with itself, which is interesting because I am the universe. Sometimes I can be at war with myself. What could be more insane? Love is the dawning of sanity. It brings the fragmented mind back into wholeness again. Love sees only itself and gives only itself. Love sees only itself and gives only itself. That's amazing. It is the truth made manifest. Separation is the lie that replaces truth when love is forgotten. That's powerful. It is only a dream, no more true than any other illusion. Love is the awakening to reality, the bringer of peace and the bridge between you and everything else. Man, that is super powerful. So, I've gone down some really deep rabbit holes in trying to understand unconditional love, and it's quite easy to come to that space when the dog chews the coffee table, chews the leg, when somebody says something to you out of fear, when something happens upon your path that you didn't expect. But I'm going to throw this one to you, and this might bring up some stuff for you. And like I said, I'm either a catalyst of suffering or a catalyst of awakening, and or both. If I'm going to use the concept of unconditional love, it's all in. It is full metal jacket. Okay? It is that, okay, if I'm going to practice unconditional love, I can't place conditions on where I practice it. It's full unconditional love. So if you're going to go down this path and you want to explore it, then how can I love the rapist? How can I love the pedophile? How can I love the murderer? How can I love the big business that creates the injustices of the world? How can I love, if you've experienced any trauma, the perpetrator of the experience that I've had? That's a big one. Now, that's a big rabbit hole that you can go down. But there's a lot of people, and I've spent many years coming to an understanding of this, that how can I look at this through the eyes of love? And the only way that I can see it through the eyes of love is to see it from a soul perspective, to see that every sentient being is having their own experience. And from a soul's perspective, there is an agreement within the perpetrator and the victim, and that they are both part of the experience, and there is consent from a soul's perspective that has been given. Now that could really, you could switch off now and go, Maurice, loved all your stuff up until this moment, but I'm sorry, I'm out the door here. See you later. And if that's the case, I love you. And hopefully we will meet again. Not in this, if in this lifetime, then another lifetime. But what I'm saying is not new. What I'm saying is, and if you're listening to this, I am at the path of least resistance for you to hear these words today. What I'm saying is, here's the opportunity to go, how would love look at that? And for me, personally, I go, right, it's from a soul perspective. Because if I look at it in any other way, I'm not going to see love. I'm going to place conditions on it. I'm going to create particular dialogues and scripts that will create separation and judgment and criticism. Just in everything that I've shared with you today, especially with that roomie, love is the beginning of sanity. So, practically today, what can I do? Let's go back to the mantra. I wonder what life will place upon my path today that will bring me to a greater awareness of self and other selves. I wonder if you can look at today and everything that happens for you today, not to you, everything that happens for you today is and has been given to you via life. And that life is there supporting you and nurturing you and is doing the best that it can for you. And can I look at whatever happens to me today through the eyes of love? Can I meet the day with equanimity by seeing things as valuable, everything that's placed upon my path? Whatever medium it takes. And this is the challenge that I place to you today, or whenever you watch this, is that whatever's placed upon your path today, can you see value? Can you derive meaning out of it? Can you see it as a gift and an opportunity? And can you see through the eyes of love? Because each day we get to practice this. No matter what arises for you, something may be placed upon your path, but in saying that, it may be from an external perspective, but also may be from an internal perspective. Something places upon your path and something arises within you that reminds you of the past. Can I look at that from the perspective of love? Or now I'm thinking about the future, can I look at that from the perspective of love? It's a really interesting interplay with life. Because you and life are not separate. You and life are one. Life is living you. Life is listening to you. The way that life lives you, and through the work that we've done, is through your emotional frequency. It's through your intention. So you are inviting whatever is coming to you via what you are. Because you and life are one. Life relates to you in the way that you relate to yourself. Life can only give to you that which you already are. So, how can I look at myself with love? That's probably the deeper question. And unconditional love. Because I'll tell you what, if you can't do that, then how can anyone else look at you in that way? You are the power within your world. I am the power within my world. There's a video that I've just, it'll go up this week on timelines. When it comes up, have a look at it, because timelines, we look back at, I did some timeline therapy, and I went back into my timeline and I healed some stuff within me. Some inner child and inner healing in relation to my timelines. And then I brought that back into this timeline, this version of myself, and a part of myself had been healed because of the work that I'd done there. Now we can look back at that and go, yeah, I can get that, and then for even some people they go, oh, let's do some past life regression and let's go back and fix up those bits and pieces, because that's still part of that timeline. But we don't necessarily think about what about my future timelines, my future incarnations, my future self, what's coming up for me there. So you can go into those areas as well. So there's something to consider, is have a look at that when it comes out. But how do I meet my day with love? What would the eyes of love, how would it look at this? What would it say to this? And if I can do it externally, then can I also do it internally? Okay. Need to go. There's my mum. Thank you very much for listening, for those people who are on. I'm sorry that I can't see who it is. That's just the way that it is. But I'll acknowledge you when I have a look at who's there. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. I love you all, and I love you deeply and compassionately, and I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful day, because everything that will be placed upon your path is for you. It is for you. Take it as a gift. Take it as a gift. Okay? Bye-bye.